What is up, everybody? Jay Nelly here with my UFC 204 recap video. Happened last night. I hope you saw it. It was a good event. I only got 2 out of 5 picks, but if you saw my prediction video, you know the special circumstances around my main event pick. We'll get to that later. So first up on the prelims, I chose Brad Pickett to beat Yuri Alcantara. He did not. This ended in the first round. Yuri actually caught him really early on with a punch. Then he got him down to the ground. It was a scramble. He went for an armbar. Brad Pickett actually survived the armbar by scrambling and flipping, but then Yuri turned it into a triangle and got him tapped in the first round. It was a very exciting, eventful first round. Great win for Alcantara. Who do you think he should fight next? Now on to the main card. I did not do a prediction for Mirsad Bertek versus Russell Doan. Russell Doan took the fight actually like Monday. He had like 3 opponent changes, and my video was done before the actual opponent was solidified, so I did not do a pick here, but Mirsad beat Russell Doan in the second round. This fight consisted of him basically trying to wrestle him a position fighting game up against the cage, a leverage fighting game, because in space Russell was tagging him. So he did the right thing in the second round. Russell was trying to break his arm lock and actually went for like a flip to try to kind of flip out of it, kind of backfired. Mirsad ended up taking his back and got the rear naked choke. Yes, the rear naked choke. Good win for him. He's actually coming off of a very long layoff due to injuries, so I've seen prior fights to this. They were more exciting. There was some booing during this one. So who would you like to see Mirsad fight next? Next up, I finally got a win here. I got my pick of Stefan Struve to beat Daniel Omielanczyk, but I was nervous. Stefan did not fight long. There was a lot of dirty boxing. There was a lot of fighting in the pocket. There was a lot of knees, and you know he's a kickboxer, so I get that. He took him down in the first round and got the ground and pound. He held the top position, totally won for round 1. This was a dominant win for him, but it still makes me nervous because he just doesn't, with that frame, he doesn't fight the way I would like him to fight, you know, but who am I to say how he should fight, even though he should fight long. But anyway, you know, Henry Hoof is training away those bad habits there, so I was nervous because Omielanczyk can knock you out when there was some 1-2 combinations he was landing as he was darting in. But again, Stefan was able to take him down in the second round. He got a Darce choke tap on Daniel. So it was a good win for Stefan Struve. And in the heavyweight division, you know, you only have to put together like a 3-fight winning streak, and he already was talking about how he has a win over Miocic. So who would you like to see Stefan fight next? Next up, I did not get this pick. I chose Ovince St. Preux to beat Jimmy Manuwa, who is not retired, y'all. He did not. I said Ovince had all of the physical strengths. He was stronger, he was more athletic, he was faster. Yeah, the cardio though. No cardio. And as we know, cardio alone is a weapon all in itself. So the first round, Ovince won the first round, but he really worked hard to win the first round. Really struggled to get the takedowns, and when he did, it didn't last very long. Getting him up against the fence, positional fighting back and forth. There was some shots thrown, and he did hold the top position. Like I said, he won the first round, but he really had to work hard, and you could tell when he came out in round 2 that he was already tired. And then we saw Jimmy land, I believe it was a punch or a kick, correct me if I'm wrong, to the body first. Then it was a right punch to the face, and he came over with the overhand like left, which dropped him. I believe it knocked him out, and then when the impact of him hitting the ground knocked him back into consciousness, because he really fell hard with that big body. It was like thump, and then his eyes woke up. So he knocked him out, sleep, and then his body woke him back up when he hit the canvas. So this was a good win for Jimmy Manuwa that I did not see coming. So hey, who would you like to see Jimmy Manuwa fight next? I guess he's not retired. Now on to the co-main event. I got this pick as well. I chose got this pick also. I chose Gegard Mousasi to beat Vitor Belfort, and he did in the second round. I gotta admit, I watched all the fights twice, and I still had a hard time paying attention to the first round of this fight, even the second time. It just was really uneventful. They respected each other a lot, filling out the energy, trying to fill out the space, the distance, and all of that. Gegard won the first round. He landed more shots. He controlled the pace. He was the one moving forward, initiating the confrontations and all of that. But again, it was a very uneventful round 1. He made up for it in round 2 though, because he landed a kick to the face, and then he unleashed a barrage of like 100 shots. And you know what? This was one of the more accurate barrages. Normally we see most shots sliding off and all of that, because Vitor was up against the cage and he was bobbing and weaving and trying to slide. But Gegard was landing like every 3rd shot in this barrage, and he just was uppercuts, everything, till he dropped Vitor on top, back, clack, clack. He beat Vitor until Vitor's arms were sprawled out in front of him. Great stoppage for the ref. Great win for Gegard Mousasi. This is what he needed. Then afterward, he was talking some cash, money, trash in the post-fight press conference. This is a good segue so I can talk about the post-press conference format, which I don't appreciate. Okay, real quick, if I can rant for a minute. I don't like the one fighter at a time format. First off, it just takes too darn long. I'm sorry. I don't have like an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes to do this here. I work a lot. So it just takes too long. I know why they do it. They want to give the fighters equal time, but what happens is it's too much time. You end up getting fighters time like Jimmy Manawa and Gegard Mousasi, but then you end up giving like Henderson and Bisping like 15, 20 minutes, and they don't need that much time. So it ends up being too long. Also, you take away opportunities to make fights right there on the spot. Now, you gave Gegard Mousasi, he went off at the post-press conference, he talked about Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, what do I got to do here to get popular? Do we have to have a runway? Do we have to a catwalk contest? He said, do I have to do things on Instagram? He talked about how Muhammad Ali, he talked trash, but he was also a great person. He did things inside the ring and outside the ring that were great. But he talked about how Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor are neither. They just talk about money and da-da-da-da. So this was the most animated, the most we've seen of Gegard giving his full self out there. So you can say that him having his own time gave him that, made him comfortable for that. However, then he also talked about Bisping, said that he would jab his face off, that he could definitely beat him. Talked about the whole, he said, match me up against anybody in the top 5. He said, I'm top 5, even though you have Sherdog, who has me at number 10. I don't know what they're talking about. What are they looking at? So he really went off. However, you got a nice sound bite, but however, had he said all of that stuff about Michael Bisping while Michael Bisping was in the room, you know Michael Bisping's gonna clap back. Boom. You get your sound bite and your visual bite. You have everybody clamoring, everybody seeing this. You see, you may actually get to see if you can sell this fight. You get a little tester, a little crowd tester right then and there. So you got a nice sound bite from Gegard because he was by himself and he was allowed, he was comfortable enough to be himself. But had he done that in front of Michael Bisping, he might have actually created the momentum towards getting a title shot right then and there in the post-press conference. So you get the sound bite, but you miss out on getting momentum for the fight started. So there's something you miss out by not having the fighters in the same room. So what I suggest is, A, you need a better MC as far as the press conference, the pre-press and the post-press. Your MC needs to take more control. Don't let the fighter go off on a rant when they get asked one question by the reporter. Step in and cut that short. You want to step back when they're getting into it with each other because you could have visual bites there, promo bites there. You want to let things happen, but then you know when to step in and cut that short as well. You cut that short, you say, hey, anybody got a question for so-and-so who hasn't got a question yet? You give them a chance to shine. So you just need a better MC general, someone to handle the event. Also, I like the format of splitting it in half, having half the fighters at one point, then the other half of the fighters. Maybe you can have all the prelim fighters, or if you have big fighters on the prelims, like you got Frankie Edgar versus Stevens coming up, you may have them all in the same weight class. You may have 2 weight classes in one, and then the other 2 weight classes, whatever, in the other. Or maybe if there's a lot of girls on the fight, all the chicks in one, guys on the other. However you want to split it up, do it, tailor it to how the card is made, the makeup of the card. But actually put some thought into this. But don't do this long ass one at a time, because what happens is I watch who I want to watch for as long as I want to watch, and then I don't watch anybody else. And I'm pretty sure everyone else is doing the same thing. I've been looking up in the comments and stuff. So just take my advice. I can show you. Give me a chance. I'll show you how it's done. All right. But moving on, main event, and still the UFC middleweight champion, Michael the Count Bisping. He won a unanimous decision against Hendo, Dan Henderson, and as he confirmed in the post-fight, this is going to be his last fight. So bye-bye, Hendo, but what are we going to go out? I mean, now, let me talk about my prediction. I said without a doubt, I was very clear that Michael's going to win this fight, and I don't know how he's going to win, but he's going to win. Won't be surprised how he wins it. However, since we're doing random fights, random title shots to random people, I said, F it. Might as well pick Hendo. So I missed my pick, but I totally expected to miss the pick, so I'm okay with going 2 out of 5 on this event. Anyway, let's talk about the first round Hendo, though. This was a much closer fight than I thought. And for a minute there, I was like, am I going to actually get this ridiculous pick? So the first round, Hendo won. They're going back and forth low. And first off, there was a lot of low offensive output on both fighters for a majority of the round. I actually was surprised on this on Michael. I was like, Michael, get going. You have a high offensive output. Don't let Hendo get comfortable. Don't let him start reading your movement. Get going. So Hendo got going first. He connected with the big right. Knocked Bisping on the ground, started with a number of elbows and ground and pound, vicious ground and pound, but he didn't blow his load. He was smart. He held back because Bisping actually did get back up and they started going back and forth again. But it was Hendo, all Hendo from the time he landed that big shot for the rest of the round, all Hendo. So First round, Hendo all the way, although I don't see it as a 10-8. I know some did, people who just dispute the decision, but I don't see it as a 10-8. Anyway, round 2, more of the same, except for Bisping was actually more active this time. Hendo looked like he was waiting a little bit more because Bisping was more active, had to read his shot. But then he landed again. He landed the big right again. And Bispings made a mistake between the first and second round by not putting the metal thing on the swelling, so his eye actually was swollen up and busted open by the first right hand. So he landed again in the second and had him reeling again, got on top again with the ground and pound again, and I was like, holy crap, am I gonna get this ridiculous pick? But Bisping survived the round again. Bisping then went on to win the third and the fourth. We saw the actual Michael Bisping that I thought we'd see. High offensive output. He was just good footwork, moving around, circles around, pushing the pace the entire time, outlanding him. Head, body, shoulders, head kicks in the whole night. Had one big kick that turned Hendo. Hendo was landing his shots too, and when he landed, he busted Michael up. Someone let me know if there's actual damage to Michael's eye, any orbital bone fractures or damage at all, because the swelling and the big open gash underneath the eye was massive on Michael Bisping. His face was busted up. Now, round 5, because in my opinion, it's 2-2 at this point. So round 5. And to my surprise, I'm thinking, Hendo should start gassing at this point. Bisping, with the great cardio as a weapon, should start to pull away at this point, but that does not happen. In fact, Hendo turns on the gas. He did a good job of managing his way. He had a great camp this time, great last showing, and he made this round really competitive. There were a lot of exchanges, some that he initiated, a lot that he initiated, some that Michael initiated. He had Michael backpedaling, Michael had him backpedaling. This is a very close back and forth seesaw round, and it could have gone either way. In fact, I was nervous. I was like, I don't know who's going to win this when they read the decision. I was surprised it was unanimous. I thought it would be split. Wouldn't have been surprised with the draw. However, on a title shot, I don't expect many draws on title shots. So I did actually expect the decision to go Michael Bisping's way. I expected it to either be more close than it was, because two judges had it 48-47 and one had it 49-46. I don't agree with the 49-46. I think he had rounds 2 through 5 from Michael, and I think Michael lost rounds 1 and 2. And like I said, round 5 was extremely close, so I'm not mad at the people who thought that Hendo won it, because you can compare the damage of round 5 maybe with the output of Bisping on round 5 and say that it's even. You could say it leans towards Hendo. Again, Bisping's face. So watch the fight for yourself. Let me know what you thought of the decision and why. Hendo, thank you for all of the amazing performances over the years through all of the organizations all over the world. Thank you, Mr. Dan Henderson. Let me know how you did on all your picks, any injury updates, again, how you thought about the main event decision. Let me know what you thought about my rant about the press conference formats and what your suggestions are and what you think that should happen, or if you like it, tell me why on that. So a lot of things to talk about. It's going to be a long period actually without any fights from the UFC, so talk to me. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Snapchat, where I do have 15-second prediction and recap videos. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care. This was a one take. This was the first take, y'all. Talk to me, take care, and goodbye.